Welcome to the show both feared and revered by man and beast, the heliosblog. Today, Sneako attacked viciously by Abba and Preach. Will the hate never cease?
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
If you believe that you're superior because you're white, you are Jewish.
All the
What the?
Muslim grifters are turning on each other. From Andrew Tate to Nick Fuentes to everybody else's goofballs associated with, they're all turning on him now that he's trying to defend his home country. This is footage of Sneako talking about the issue now, and then there's footage of him in the past, and the difference is crazy.
Well, Sneako, what Sneako does is whatever opinion, right? Whatever opinions he holds, he flips on in an instant. So
montage.
The reason that they're lying, so comfortable lying about a Christian country, their Christian brothers in Haiti, is because they don't consider them people. They don't consider them brothers at all.
Flashback.
The reason that the earthquake might have happened in Haiti, not the Dominican Republic, is because they practice something called voodoo. They call themselves Christians in Haiti, but at the same time, they practice a voodoo, like an African voodoo version of Christianity.
The next morning.
Vast majority of Haitians, if you've ever met and talked to them, they're Christian, they're Catholic. They like will bury.
This is crazy, man.
Period blood and like mix it with hair, put it in the ground. They'll do demonic rituals where people start like vibrating and shaking. You hear a language, sakpase mabule, that you don't understand, and you think these are Some of the people like will horses. So maybe that was God punishing this island for practicing witchcraft and trying to conjure the devil in order to get power. So all they say is you should just leave. You should leave America. Leave the country. Bye. We don't like you. Should be a white country. When was this ever a white country? White people created America.
Bro, I literally debated this.
My lord. It's actually crazy, man. Like, he literally holds no beliefs. He holds no beliefs. Nothing is sacred to Sneako.
Loser. He was here supporting Nick Fuentes, who wants a white country. He sucked that dude off. He went into his rallies. He was doing his campaign stuff. He kept supporting him. And now he's over here, now that the Haitians are getting some flack, and he's going, well, when has this ever been a white...
White people created America. White people created America. The United States of America is a white country. It was built by white people. It was created by white people. See? See what I'm saying?
Bro, I hope he just has like multiple personality disorders and he's got a problem.
That's not what he has. He has chase the money disorder.
He's gone full blue pill. He's so based, then we start shitting on Haitians and it's like, whoa, 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 you're a white supremacist.
I went to Haiti 2 months ago, didn't eat a cat. So from firsthand experience, no cats.
Haiti's not so bad. Well, why don't you go live there, bro?
Okay, that was funny.
Why don't you go bring Islam to Haiti? You can go be a jihadist in Haiti. Yeah, except they can't read and they eat mud. Fucking based. Now they eat dirt and they swim in an open sewer.
It is what it is. I'm not white. I live here. I know I'm never really gonna, but that's the truth. Stop sucking Hitler off.
What the? What is happening here?
What are you talking
What is happening?
about? What are you talking about? I've come to realize, and I did.
Sorry. That's insane. What the? Bring him back to YouTube, guys. Bring him back.
Didn't know this. A lot of people warned me about this, but conservative
Copco
ideas to a lot of people, it's just white supremacism. It goes back. It doesn't go back to God. It goes back to Hitler.
It was Hitler evil.
Was Thomas Jefferson evil?
Wow. He made that comparison?
How about switching sides?
I'm not switching sides.
Did you think that I was gonna be an Uncle Tom in the big house for you whites?
Sneako, if the founding fathers saw you, they would have enslaved you. They'd be like, where is your owner, bro?
Lordy Lord.
Me and Nick are good, man. I've always loved Nick. Nick is a friend of mine. I never question Nick. I never question Nick's capability, or I've never questioned his intentions. He's a real he's a real ass nigga. So yeah, me and Nick are good.
I had to watch
Very clearly.
watch Sneako over here defend Nick Fuentes when he said he's against interracial marriage, which is the very thing that birthed Sneako in the first place. Sneako
Literally.
wouldn't even exist if Nick Fuentes was in power.
Like, Nick really, I listened to this whole call, I don't think he said anything that makes you want to cancel him. I think he's a good guy. He's saying, hey, I love everybody. Is he really being that exclusionary?
That's crazy.
Bro,
That saying
Sneako,
that.
that's
Sneako, I'm not even gonna lie. If he had his way and he had, first off, you wouldn't even exist because you're the basis of an interracial marriage. So, but you don't find it kind of crazy that the ideal world that he envisions is one in which you wouldn't exist in?
Look at Sneako. He's like, I've never calculated such complex positions before.
Sneako, if the founding fathers saw you, they would have enslaved you. They'd be like,
Disaster.
where is your owner, bro?
Useful idiot.
Sneako's going woke. It's got to stop. Sneako, we love you. We want you back on Team Red Pill, okay? Me and Zerka, we're dragging your black ass back to Team Red Pill.
I'm not watching anymore. I can't watch anymore.
Thank you.
Listen, if Sneako's involved, just know he's wrong. Because we don't even know.
You already said the opposite.
Yes.
You already said the opposite.
I can't take Sneako seriously, bro.
It's like, whatever
I'm inclined to agree. Wherever the leaf blows, Sneak blows.
he said, you already said the opposite before, so.
And I watched him. I watched him go from what he was to what he was then to what he became afterwards to version 7.0 now. And it's just like, dude, just go be yourself. And if you don't know what that is, stop asking all your daddies.
He doesn't have a sense of self, which actually is a psychological disorder. That's called histrionic personality disorder. You have no personality of your own. You just you have like a overly dramatic personality that has no basis. It just shifts constantly. No sense of self. It's a real disorder.
For tips. Stop looking. Dude, this guy used to be.
It's in the DSM-5. Look it up. Histrionic personality disorder.
Remember we used to do the fucking cringe Andrew Tate thing where he would stand everywhere and he was doing his little pose? Like, we get it. The reason why people were memeing on you is because every time you spoke in defense of him, you still had his cum all over your face. So nobody was going to take what you said seriously. It's hard.
Machiavelli says, pick a side.
We have evidence that you've been sucking him off. We watched how you were when you went over there to Romania and he barely
Sneako is a snake.
looked at you and he looked at you, you're a fucking loser. Why? Because real people can recognize how much of a goofball you are. Right? Because they may not know it because they're seeing this version of you now, but they're going to watch the next version of you and they'll be like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? He was someone else just a year ago.
Indeed.
Why was he someone?
No, Sneako, that's not what happened. You did not give a fair criticism based on Islam. Firstly, it is not your job in Islam to criticize anybody. That's the first thing. Second thing, you questioned my faith and called me a Jew. So you were responded to in kind. You cannot be a passive-aggressive little girl. I understand you're young. But if you talk that way to people, you're going to be responded to a certain way. And you do it all the time. It's not just me. It's just who you are. You're very, like, smarmy, snarky. That's who you are. That's fine. But you deserved it. And you got brutally wrecked because you deserved it. Because you can't call me a Jew. And also, just because you've been Saudi and I've been trapped on house arrest, you don't get to be a better Muslim than me and tell me how the world works either, friend. Right? So, no hard feelings, but you fucking deserved it. Right? If you said it in person, I would have knocked your ass out, and I would have helped you get up afterwards and said, sorry, sir, I had to break your jaw. Sometimes things just have to happen, you know? I know you think you're a tough guy because Strickland couldn't finish you. I'll finish you. Don't worry about that. I'm built different.
He was upset because Sneako had a problem with something he said, and Sneako, I think, said something along the lines of, quoting Andrew Tate, says, white supremacists are totally right. And then Sneako replies, this goes against the core fundamentals of Islam. God did not, in fact, choose any race as supreme. And if you believe so, you're Jewish.
What?
Okay.
I don't understand what that even means, but all right.
Do not revert to Islam to try to attract fans from Islamic countries.
Yeah, okay.
I did not.
Stop the frickin' cap.
I did not revert to Islam to use a shield from hate. I did not revert to jump on a bandwagon. That is a grift. I am not a grifter. I keep my faith between God and I. Anthony Joshua, Mike Tyson, Dave Chappelle.
Did he just read a script that he wrote for himself, or what?
Many prominent Muslims are private. Praying in private is showing worship to God. This is true faith. Trying to act as Muslim as possible for internet likes is simply a grift. Beware the haram police. They're the biggest snakes of all. Nobody haram policed him. What he said
literally goes against the core fundamentals of being a Muslim. White supremacy is wrong. They're not totally right. It's not totally right to believe in a supreme race. That's everything that we're fighting against. The root of all evil stems from a superiority complex from a race.
I swear to God, Sneako literally changes his opinion the way pancakes are flipped when they're on the stove top.
Indeed.
And you know what? Changing
LIFO
is not necessarily a bad thing. No. But judging people from your vantage point while you're changing so much and then condemning people while they haven't made the right decision. Meanwhile, the decision you're making today are going to be different than what you're going to make. Shut the fuck up.
He has no sense of self, so whatever he says can't be trusted. He's a snake. And because he's a snake, if you're a snake, no one will ever trust you. A man's word is his honor. So if his word means nothing, he has no honor, which means he has no true allies or alliances.
You don't know yourself. Stop telling people who they have to be. You need to figure out who you need to be.
Snake.
You need to figure out what your values are, what your morals are, what your social circles, but you got...
Nobody has ever checked Sneako on this crap. Ever.
I had no idea.
Perhaps because he is useful in the sense that if he appears on your stream or whatever, you make money. So nobody checks him, right? Because he just adds money to whoever and then he leaves and adds money to somebody else. So perhaps that's what's happening. He's being used as a catalyst.
You ain't got no clue. That's why your friends keep changing, your values keep changing. You're all about judging people and what haram. Meanwhile, you doing drugs and sleeping with hookers. Nobody trying to listen to you, bro.
That's the second time that you triggered your own self. That's the second time that you play a video of your choosing and then you get triggered. That's amazing. That's amazing triggering skills.
What a goofball, bro.
Yeah, it is. He is. I don't have much to say about Sneako. I never really liked him.
Indeed.
No, that's not true. I appreciated him at first, back then when you showed me his videos, where he was doing, you know, the first version of Sneako.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit, this dude is interesting. Interesting. I didn't know the dude, so, but it's interesting. And then he starts flip, flop. Jesus, it's always a flip with him. Yeah. It's not even a good flip. It's like out of all the decisions that you're trying to make, you always take the wrong ones. So it's
more like he flips and then flops and then he's just gonna... Then you have a wide repertoire of videos that you can refer back to.
Just whatever.
I don't even think the decisions are necessarily wrong. It's just you are committing to something you don't feel certain about and that you don't actually believe in. You're adopting a belief system that you actually haven't thought through, and then you're preaching it.
Yeah.
It's like somebody just opening up the Bible for the first time, and all of a sudden they want to be a pastor, and they want to counsel their flock. It's like, bro, you haven't even read through all the Bible verses. Why are you talking to me about what's right and what's wrong? You don't know. So, at any rate, that's my thoughts on this. Like I told you, these people are going to flame out. They're not going to last another 2-3 years. Most of them, you already see their reaches plummeting, and it's going to continue going down. So
people are going to move on to another thing.
Yep. And now they're even...
It's because of lack of consistency.
Been fighting with each other. They can't even get along because everyone's calling each other grifters, which is crazy. It's like watching a pen full of pigs, and then everyone's like, "You're a pig. You're a pig." It's like, bitch, y'all pigs. Y'all nasty. You guys.
That's funny.
They're all going to be bacon soon too. Literally, everyone outside the pig pen is looking at you guys and be like, "Look at these fucking idiots." They all think they're ratioing each other. They all look stupid.
The reason that the earthquake might have happened in Haiti, not Dominican Republic, is because they practice something called voodoo. They call themselves Christians in Haiti, but at the same time they practice a voodoo, like an African voodoo version of Christianity.
I can't take this guy seriously, bro.
This guy, Man, we gave everybody mics and just let them yap on about shit they know fuck all about. And this guy
exactly
is Haitian, which makes it even more embarrassing. Part Haitian. His dad is like some kind of light-skinned Jew, which, if you aren't aware, in Haiti basically means those are the bougie-ass people, the ones who are really not of the people and live in their little castle, their little ivory castle.
Well, that's what those people repeat about Haiti.
What? Oh,
what he said.
Yeah, they're the ones who are gonna say shit like, "Oh, the reason why the earthquake happened is because of
voodoo."
Not knowing that these people are all stealing resources, getting rich off the poor people, and make sure they have no good infrastructure to survive a good hurricane. Now, look, a lot of
that's right. That's exactly. There's so much corruption when the government receives money, the people just skim it, and the common person gets nothing. It's a dictatorship.
Problems in Haiti. But just beware that the people who talk like this, the way he learned this from his dad, and his dad is one of those people. Okay, so every time Sneako claims he's Haitian, just cringe a lot, knowing that these people live in their ivory towers and literally never mingle with local Haitians if they get a chance to. They're about as Haitian as me.
No,
even less, because I speak the language.
Interesting.
It's a live reason. Now, if they don't accept,
this is Daniel Hakikaju and Sneako.
And
some random commentator guy. I'll skip over his commentary. I'm not sure why he's there.
Our system, our civilization, then we'll just wipe them out. Like, that's fine. Like, you can wipe out entire people because ultimately it's going to be for the better to just wipe them out like as if they're viruses. And then whoever agrees with us, great. You can be a part of our beautiful European civilization and be enlightened by the...
This, ironically, the Muslim guy is talking crap about Europe when literally the Arabian Empire did exactly the same thing, but 400 years ago, or 800. It depends on which Arabian Empire you want to talk about, if you want to talk about the Ottoman or the Arabian, but a Muslim empire nonetheless. There has been a Muslim empire from around the year 1200 all the way to around World War I in the early 1900s. One of the longest lived empires in history. And you think they didn't oppress their people and steal babies and tax people and all that? Oh no, they did. And actually, if you weren't Muslim, they taxed you more, and so on. There was no equality at all, and they had lots of slaves. So don't be telling me that white people oppressed other people and Muslims are great. Come on. Again, a very narrow view of history, but many Muslims have this view that the world should be Muslim and follow Sharia law. I don't agree with that, but that's their view, and they're going to talk crap about white civilization because ultimately they're against white civilization, right? They're against the West being the leaders of the world, quote unquote. But I'm sure they'd also be against the East. Let's say the Chinese, took over the world and became the next United States or whatever version their power would look like. They would hate on them too. It's only if Muslims are in power that they would be okay and think that everything is fine, even though they would be the oppressors at that point.
White race, or will exterminate you. So a lot of genocide has been justified on the basis of Enlightenment ideals.
Yes, Muslims have never done genocide. Don't look at all at Armenia, guys.
And the first victims of this, by the way, of the Enlightenment were the Europeans themselves. The Europeans themselves were the first victims because many Europeans did not want to get rid of their religion. They didn't want to abandon Catholicism, for example. There were deeply traditional people in Europe, but then from northwestern Europe, you had people like Napoleon Bonaparte, who was enlightened. You had the French Revolution, which overturned the monarchy, overturned the church, and established, this liberal democracy. And they enforced it through war and genocide, and they spread it through the Napoleonic Wars. And at one point, Napoleon even put the Pope in prison. He even imprisoned the Pope because the Pope, he felt, was not subservient enough to him as the ultimate monarch. So this is, anyway, a complicated history. But the point is that this kind of idea, the Enlightenment ideals, was anti-religion. It spread through Europe, killed millions of people. Then they spread it to the rest of the world through colonialism. And it's white supremacy.
Yes, and Muslims have never been colonial. Muslims have never had an empire. They've never oppressed people. They've never taken slaves. Like, again, it's insane for a Muslim to say that. He's only speaking out against white people because they're not his people, right? His people are not faultless either. So, I think the pot is calling the kettle black.
Supremacists is all on the basis that whites are the superior race. Religions are backward. They have to be eradicated.
Again, why would a Muslim say something like this? Well, because he has a different belief. He believes in a different superiority, not in a white superiority. He believes in a what superiority? Audience, you can make the conclusion yourself. Why would he say things like this? Why would he disparage white people? Because European colonialism is no different from any other dominant race colonialism. It's no different.
So this progressed all the way until World War II. World War II happened. The Western countries became really shocked because of Hitler and Hitler's theories. They said that this is clearly a problem. So they readjusted their strategy, and they made dissolution of race also a part of the liberal project. Like, race is another source of identity, like being a white race, being a, in addition to being religious, like you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a Hindu, or you're Chinese, you're Japanese, you're Native American, or you're white, you're black. This is a problem. So then they made racial identity also as a target to be dissolved, just like they were targeting religions and cultures. And so this kind of white replacement, yeah, it is a deliberate program. It's a continuation of the Enlightenment project, but it's also a product of white people invented this.
Do you think that by extension the neocon movement or even the Nazi movement can be attributed to the Enlightenment movement?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's all modernity. Like, this is all coming from...
Fascism is a modern idea. Although, it's really not. It comes from ancient times, right? Like, redoing Roman Empire type stuff.
Like the principles of liberty and freedom as the highest ideals, like those are the things that were preached by Hitler, for example. Like, that's what he preached as well, that these are the highest ideals. Hitler wasn't trying to, revive the church and create a theocracy. Like, he was concerned with, fascism is primarily concerned with maximizing freedom and equality of people. They just have a different approach than other subgroups of liberalism. But if you think of liberalism as this big umbrella,
fascism is not liberalism. So I don't know what exactly he's talking about. Fascism is like ultra conservatism. It's not liberalism. I disagree that that it's an extension of the liberal movement. I would argue that communism is an extension of the liberal movement, which fascism was actually against. And the war of modern times is the war between communism and fascism, effectively. And right now, socialism/communism is winning based on how the West is going. Fascism is not on vogue right now.
There are sub-ideologies, like there's communism, there's socialism, there's national socialism, but the differences between them,
they called it national socialism, but it was actually an ultra-conservative viewpoint. They named it something that it wasn't.
Are differences, but they all agree that the most important ideals are liberty and equality. They just differ on how to maximize, or what is the best approach for maximizing liberty and equality. But they don't disagree on the fundamentals, as opposed to like a religious system, like an Islamic system, where we don't, as Muslims, we don't say like the most important thing is freedom and equality. Yeah,
Indeed, look at the burqa.
freedom and equality are good, like those are important values, but we don't destroy everything on the basis of freedom and equality.
Indeed, you destroy it on the basis of religion.
Like there are other values. God is at the top, like God, worshiping God, being subservient to God, living a godly life. But then we also want to preserve marriages. We want to preserve communities. We want to preserve human life. Like those are other priorities that come ahead of just freedom and equality.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think that white people don't take any responsibility for this issue? Because when you talk about white genocide or white replacement, it seems like most of the white people that I speak to online, all the blame goes to the Jews or the Zionists. Do you think that white people should bear responsibility for what happened?
If they want to start playing the race game and start blaming different races or critiquing other races, or just looking at the world through this prism of race, then if they're consistent and they're honest, then they should also look at the contributions of the white race.
Well, you guys can make your own conclusions. I don't need to tell you how to think. Anyway, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all the notifications. Buy my books like Hunter M, Adrian L, Tom M, Bobby, Dylan, Renaissance Press, Brian, Andrew, Alan, Armani, and Nicholas. Shout out to you, most recent purchase of both my books, Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By. Thank you. You can buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. And I offer coaching services on my email. Just message me at theheliosblog@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.